In this video, you're going to learn exactly how I prepare for the week ahead in my trading. So I'm going to start with a completely naked chart, and you're going to be almost sitting over my shoulder and watching me do it so that you can hopefully learn something. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first, we're going to start off by looking at forexfactory.com. So this is basically just the economic calendar that is going to tell me every important news event, and I have it filtered to just the US news because that's all I care about for trading the Nasdaq futures. So obviously this is going to give me the entire outlook of the week. So I'm not going to be surprised by any news events, and I can actually begin to already predict which day is going to be better for my trading based off what economic news data is going to be released in the week. So for example, on the Friday, we have non-farm payroll. So obviously that's one of the biggest news releases of the month. It's the first Friday of every new month. So on a day with NFP week, I'm going to be looking to trade earlier in the week, so Monday and Tuesday, and I'm going to be less interested in trading on Wednesday and definitely on Thursday, the day before NFP. That's going to be the most difficult day of the week. And also I can see that Fed Chair Powell is actually also speaking on Friday. So this is going to tell me that Thursday and Friday are going to be hypothetically the worst days or the lowest probability days for my trading this week, because we aren't really excited about trading the day before NFP, as it's typically quite choppy. And also Friday with NFP, it's normally okay to trade after NFP. That's normally perfectly fine. But the fact that we have Fed Chair Powell speaking in the afternoon / lunch, that's going to cause some issues for the AM session on Friday as well. So that is everything I need to know about the economic calendar as far as news events. All I've done there is look at what data is coming out on which day and then forecast which days are going to be better for me to trade. So this week that's going to be Monday, Tuesday, the best days, and then Wednesday. Okay, so then what I'll do is I'll move to the chart and actually start the technical analysis side of the preparation for the week. I would have some levels that I've obviously, because I keep going up to date every day looking at the chart, so I've got my levels constantly just kind of moving about, and I've got levels that have been there a while. Obviously for you guys, I'm not just going to jump straight into that. I'll start with a naked chart so you can kind of get the full experience as if I was just loading up my chart and there's nothing on it. So in the past week, we have swept this daily sell side here, so we can mark that out to build a narrative essentially, and we also tapped into this daily fair value gap. You'll see me actually break down a trade that I took on this Friday where I caught 200 points on that trade. So if you want to go and check out literally the most recent video, you can go and see where I caught a 200 point long in that Friday, which was a pretty good trade. So after sweeping some sort of target like this, which I've been expecting, we can then anticipate a retracement, obviously. So really what I'm wanting to see this week is some sort of a retracement into this range, not a complete route reversal, but maybe definitely a retracement. And one thing I can do to look for that is look for a return into a premium, so above equilibrium in this dealing range here. Because when you're drawing out equilibrium of a range, you need to make sure you're drawing it in a valid dealing range. And what do I mean by dealing range? I mean that this high has gone up and taken out highs. So this is essentially like the high of a dealing range. And then if you look down to the lowest point here is this low, and I'm looking for the highest high that has taken out a previous high and the lowest low that has taken out a low. So I can't just draw it from like anywhere in this and go, okay, that's a nice dealing range, so I'm expecting equilibrium from there. Obviously on a lower time frame you could, but on a daily time frame, this is where the daily equilibrium is going to be, and I'm going to be basing my weekend analysis off of the daily chart. So when I'm looking for a retracement into a premium of this range, this fair value gap here looks like a pretty nice target because it's just above the equilibrium. So it would make sense theoretically for us to come down and sweep all this liquidity and hit this daily fair value gap. And then as long as we're not extremely heavy, which we obviously could be, we could just react from this fair value gap that we're currently in and just continue to melt off. And obviously my bias throughout the week is going to shift according to what happens during the week. But as of right now, what I would like to see, what would make the most sense, is for us to come down here and then retrace back up into a premium array, daily fair value gap, and then continue the downward trend, or maybe we would get an outright reversal and go straight back to all-time highs. So this is like the turning point, really, but I can target this going into the week, basically. So I'm going to be looking for long plays, hopefully, into this based off of what we do on Monday. So then as an added confluence, when we drop down into the hourly chart, we can see that just below this daily fair value gap from the daily chart and just at the equilibrium of this range, we have these nice equal highs here. So, oh, there we go. So this buy-side liquidity pool is definitely going to be a nice target that I can look for going into the week for Monday and Tuesday's trading. This is not financial advice at all. If you trade based off of the analysis I've done in this video, then you're stupid. So that's not me saying my analysis is wrong. That's just me saying don't take what I've said as like this is definitely going to happen. But what would make sense to me, at least in this week, is what I've just outlined on the daily chart. And the fact that we have this buy-side liquidity pool here adds to that kind of narrative that I've been building. So I would like to see us come up into this daily fair value gap, sweep above these highs, and then who knows, it's hard to have a bias going into a week like this for the later part of the week because you never know what NFP is going to do. We could come up here and then NFP could just tank us lower, or we could come up here and then NFP sends us higher, and it's really a flip a coin, really. If you're trying to predict what a news event like NFP is going to do, then you're not trading the right way, in my opinion, at least. And then obviously to build on that narrative, we had this 1 hour market structure shift above that high. So these 2 hourly fair value gaps, I'm extending that one up because it's got a volume imbalance inside of it. So I mark my hourly fair value gaps out in pink. And you can see that the bodies actually aren't connected if I zoom in. You see the body's there. So I would extend that up to the low of this body. And then obviously we have this higher fair value gap up here. I'll just do it from the wick, even though like we just said, this body isn't connected. So really that should look like that. But these 2 hourly fair value gaps are something I could maybe build a kind of long trade off on Monday and Tuesday to go up for these hourly highs. So that all could be completely wrong or it could be completely right. I don't care because I will only get into a trade if what I've expected to see then comes to pass. If this just melts off, but I didn't take a trade, then guess what? I didn't lose. Sometimes you're right, and then sometimes your analysis just is completely wrong. But I mean, if you're not going to take a trade based off of that analysis because it didn't come to pass, then you're not going to incur a loss, hopefully, at least. So yeah, that's kind of the whole like part of the game really in trading. So if we don't do anything I've outlined in this week, then don't go after me in the comments because you'll hurt my feelings. But yeah, that's everything I'm going to be looking for going into this week at least. Don't take that as advice, like I've said. You're stupid if you do, but hopefully I've been able to teach you something and you can learn something from that you can then take into your own trading. But that is all from me in this video. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I will wish you all boys good luck, good trading. Catch you later.